Here before the shutdown, reaching the quarterfinals at the Australian Open. Here's Coco serving to get us underway.
15-11.
The one thing this team does well is they do communicate. They talk about where they're going to serve, what they want the net person to do. McNally is very active at the net. She'll fake, she'll go. Good depth from Osuigwe.
We'll keep a careful eye on Coco's service approach, because if you go back to how things led to her failing to win in her opening round in the singles draw, losing to Anastasia Sevastoza, Coco had 12 costly double faults, and on cue she's a bit long there.
Left, second service.
A little hesitant on covering the middle from McNally, causes error. And yes, Brian, Coco did struggle with her serve, a lot of double faults. What I noticed in calling her match was that she was yanking her head down a little bit too soon. So we'll see if she's made those corrections on her day off of practice.
Still looking for better alignment early on, especially on the first serve. And there's the double.
15-14.
And here's a major opening now for Baptiste and Osuigwe. Break points in the opening game.
Saving one there. Baptiste, really the players, you know, they don't really come in behind their returns these days, but if they hit a deep return, they have to look for that short reply.
Nifty escape.
Yes.
Pushing aside a pair of break opportunities a year ago. Gauff and McNally made it to the round of 16 in doubles here at the Open, losing to the eventual runner-ups, Victoria Azarenka and Ash Barty. And great to see Mika resurging in singles this year.
Nice ups from Baptiste there, taking that ball out of the air. It's kind of in between a volley and a smash.
Another look at the break.
Game.
And Hailey Baptiste puts it away. So early momentum for this American team.
First game.
A couple years ago, Baptiste teamed with Elena Hewitt to make it to the U.S. Open Junior doubles championship match, where they ran into Coco Gauff and Caty McNally, who won the title. Certainly a different feel with no spectators here at the Open this year, but because these players are not that far removed from their junior careers, they're accustomed to having to create their own energy on court. Baptiste looking to consolidate the break.
One of the most active points we've seen thus far. Good movement from both teams, moving together. Coco Gauff just coming up with a solid drive right at the body of Osuigwe, unable to control it. One of the things we want to look at from as a doubles team is how well they move together, forward and back together. If they're covering the middle, covering the line.
15 all.
Baptiste has a very strong first serve, 112 miles per hour on that one. That'll get you some easy volley attempts at the net off of the return, as we just saw there.
That's plus 6.
Beautiful return, low over the middle
15.
part of the net, the lowest part of the net. You don't always need to hit a winner off of the return. It's really putting your opponent in a difficult position to make a tough volley. And that's exactly what McNally did to Osuigwe there.
Sharp shot produced by Hailey Baptiste to battle back to 30 all. Well, that win over Madison Keys a year ago at the City Open, all the more personally significant because Hailey grew up about 5 minutes away from that tennis facility and got her first introduction to our sport in a program run by the Washington Tennis and Education Foundation, and then went on to train at the Junior Tennis Champions Center in College Park, Maryland. And was also sent Francis
14.
Tiafo onto the pro ranks.
Very solid program. Work really hard in developing their players, and giving them all the tools needed to be successful, not just in tennis, but in life. Oh, what a serve. That kick serve from Baptiste.
At the precise moment she was looking to deliver it. And it's part of a winning formula. Baptiste consolidates the break. 2 love start opening set.
Love 15.
So very important for Gauff and McNally to hold serve here, get on the board, and work to try to get a break. Starting off, it's not that they're starting off slow, it's Baptiste and Osuigwe are really coming up with the goods. Great hands from Baptiste, but I like the way that Gauff moved forward, closer to the net to finish that point off.
Caty McNally has an attacking style. When we track her play in singles, she keeps that pressure on. Often will serve and volley, and we saw just how effective that was a year ago at the Open when she took Serena to 3 sets on Ash.
15. That's it.
Caty saying she knew at an early age she wanted to pursue her passion in our sport, in part because of growing up in that tennis playing family we alluded to. Some fairly rugged doubles matches with mom and dad and her older brother John before he went on to play collegiately at Ohio State.
Oh, a few trouble with the serves here. McNally frustrated early. That shows how much they want to win, how important this is. And the good thing about being good friends is that they have the ability to calm each other down. Try to regroup and refocus.
Needing to maintain that concentration here with 2 break points.
Nice move from Gauff, and that's what you need to do when your
13-14.
partner's struggling on their serve. Look to be more assertive. Help them out across the middle of the court. Take some pressure off of your server as your partner. Like the serve and volley from McNally, which automatically puts some pressure on the receiver, and good hands from Gauff there deflecting. You can see just trying to get out of the way of the ball on that one. Their racket was in the right place.
Advantage, McNally.
Caty McNally elevating her play, saving a pair of break opportunities. Still, she and Coco Gauff down the break to start this match in women's doubles. Well, we've seen a little bit of everything at the Open so far. And now we have multitasking from our chair umpire, Damien Umaswa, coming out of the chair to address a bit of a wet spot on the court. Now we're set to go. Whitney Osuigwe.
So many protocols in place in trying to eliminate, touch points, if you will, with the players. Ball people, there are fewer ball persons on the court. There's Hawkeye Live to eliminate more bodies on the court from the officials, except on Arthur Ashe Stadium and Louis Armstrong. Nice move from Baptiste. Good deep serve from Osuigwe to set her up, give her that opportunity to make an aggressive move.
Hailey perfectly positioned and showing her lateral quickness. Outstanding exchange at nets.
Great movement from Baptiste early on. Again, as you just on cue when you talked about the lateral movement on this net cord. Good hands from Gauff. Didn't do enough with that. Gauff should have been able to find the opening, but great hands at the net from this team, and Osuigwe finding the opening for the winner. Brian, we talked about the last couple of days, no fans. This is a perfect match for the stands to be filled because you have 4 young Americans out there, would be going wild, and these players would be enjoying this so much more with that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, especially with Coco involved, because She has become a rock star.
Game.
But one of the concessions that unfortunately had to be made this year to make sure safety would be the priority, and just a remarkable undertaking to allow us to be with you here at the 2020 U.S. Open. A reminder, usopen.org is your online home for point-by-point live scoring, highlights, real-time stats, and draws. Check out the official tournament site at usopen.org.
I love the aggression from Baptiste and Osuigwe. Baptiste finding herself at the net. Behind that return, it was a good deep return, knowing that it was going to be a floater or a short reply.
Aussie formation, a little old school I formation look. Service winner. Well, Kat, you know better than I do, having spent a lifetime in our sport, that while we see the players on the court, we know how much support it takes to get someone to this level. Sure, you have to have talent and work hard, but to have mom and dad and people who care about you is a major asset. You think about Coco Gauff's story. Father Corey, basketball player, Georgia State. Mom was a track star, Candy, shining at Florida State, and they were so committed to their daughter. They both gave up their full-time jobs to make sure that they could be fully attentive to Coco as she pursued her tennis dream.
That's it. Game.
And after Coco Gauff
McNally
was broken in her initial service game, able to hold, still down a break here in the first set.
So important for
just a single break separating these two talented young American teams here on court 5.
Great movement from Caty McNally there, chasing down some big shots from Hailey Baptiste. See this angle, didn't try to do too much with it, and you saw Gauff doing the right thing, moving forward, putting the pressure on Baptiste, and chose the wrong shot there in the end.
This is not the first tennis bubble that Hailey Baptiste has been involved with this summer. Through the wickets, Hailey took part in World Team Tennis at the Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia. Became a bit of a sensation on social media because she brought her dog Sangha with her. Everybody loves a dog pic on the gram.
I met Tsonga. Tsonga was very active. I guess you know who one of our favorite players is.
Roger Federer?
Brian, I think you alluded to it before, but you look at these 4 youngsters. I think the oldest are separated by maybe 20 days, 18. Baptiste and McNally, the closest in age. Playing by all 4 players. Great movement, great balls being struck, shot selection, reflexes. We saw everything there, Brian.
Kind of high-level play we anticipated coming in because we've all gotten to know Coco Gauff so well, and because of her remarkable maturity. Sometimes we forget she's merely 16 years old.
14. That's it.
This is true. You do forget that she's 16. But not too far behind the other players on the court who are 18. In age, but when you think about maturity and what she's accomplished in singles, she's far ahead of them. Beautiful touch from McNally. Really enjoy watching her play. She has such versatility. She has the power. She has the touch.
Yes.
The angles, the spin. She can flatten it out. Moving forward, just softens the hands a little bit. Kept that racket out in front. The firm wrist.
Those are the fundamentals that have made Caty an exceptional doubles player already. Now a chance for Coco Gauff and Caty McNally to get the break back.
Yeah, Osuigwe was right there. That ball might have had a little bit too much mustard on it for her to handle. It's a big ball for McNally.
That'll donate the break.
Gauff and McNally.
Baptiste
3 games on.
is broken, and this opening set is back on serve, level at 3.
Was a good sign of Gauff and McNally just hanging in there, raising their level of intensity with their movement, trying to be a little more aggressive, not doing anything too big, waiting for that opportunity.
Air Coco.
You beat me to the punch.
We've worked together a few times over the years.
That was beautiful. See the big serve from McNally. Gauff moving forward here with that reflex and just has some ups. Nicely done. You heard in the middle of that rally, me, me, me.
13 left.
Making sure that that ball goes up. Only one person is going for the overhead. And making sure you get in position. Look how close Gauff got to the net after that smash from McNally.
40 left.
Now the opportunity for Caty McNally to consolidate the break with emphasis, trying to author a love service game.
Game.
Seals it with the ace.
Gauff McNally. You
First
ball speed.
ace of the match for either team. Break is validated, and Coco Gauff and Caty McNally move ahead 4-3. Well, you can see last names on the backs of the ball persons, honoring the essential, hardworking frontline workers here in New York City. Part of the Mount Sinai Network, U.S. Open's official health system. And we think about all of the challenges this area of the country has endured. Our thanks as well to all the people making all the sacrifices so we can bring you tennis on this night in New York City.
This has been a great battle out here, battle of the youngsters, if you will, Brian. I'm enjoying every bit of it. Back on serve. Let's see what Osuigwe can do.
All these players having to navigate the burden of expectations, especially Coco Gauff, which she has done magnificently. I mentioned Whitney's strong connections to the IMG Academy in Bradenton, where Dad Desmond has coached since 1997, and our friend Jimmy Arias now heading player development. Don't want to add to the expectations for Whitney, but Jimmy says she's ticketed to the top 10 ranking threshold in the WTA. Just a matter of time.
She's a very talented player, works extremely hard. You know, in my opinion, she has to get a little more mass on her body, get stronger. She's very quick around the court, and she has definitely developed, filled out in the last couple of years since she burst on the scenes as the #1 junior in the world. Beautiful touch from Gauff. But you know what followed Osuigwe in the junior ranks? So we saw the rise of Amanda Anisimova, followed by McNally and Gauff. So she's kind of been the leader of the pack, if you will.
And just a tremendous time in American women's tennis. A real testament to the great work done in player development by the USTA. Half a chance at 15-30.
Beautiful depth from the return of Gauff, and McNally did the right thing, moved forward, was able to pick that off easily at the net.
Osuigwe has to contend with 2 large break chances after Hailey Baptist was broken in her last service game.
I like the aggressive move from Coco, but what she did is she stopped. She kind of slid over there as opposed to kept moving through the volley. But it was a nice hit from Osuigwe. Too good to handle.
Yes.
Able to steer it in.
Good hands from Baptiste. Gauff continues to try to insert herself in the rallies, which is great. Just didn't do enough with this volley. Baptiste kept her eyes on the ball, and too often players will turn their shoulder left or right when they see the net person intercept and poach. But Baptiste held her ground there, which allowed her to finish for the winner.
Took advantage of the full width of the doubles alley.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Whitney mixes in another double fault. Doubles on any level hinges on communication, so a little bit of strategy before this serve gets underway. Players mindful they're on the clock, which is in their line of sight.
Advantage.
Solid first serve from Osuigwe, 100 miles per hour. She'd like to get another well-placed served here.
Hey.
Nicely done to save a pair of break points. It's tightly contested. Opening set now level at 4-all.
Easy volley for McNally down the middle of the court. All four of these players have pretty solid volleys. They keep the racket in front of them. Not a lot of wrist movement in their volleys. Another great deep serve from Gauff.
She's been sensational in the service game.
Uh-oh.
Well, if you're going to miss like that, make it count.
40-15.
Make it count and laugh at it. I mean, that called everything on the racket but the strings, I think. We've all had one of those.
Well, we can all identify with doubles because it's the element of tennis that most of us play, either at the local club or rec center.
Game.
So
Gauff McNally.
the miscue is not costly. Coco with the compact service game. She and Caty McNally will be looking for a break to try to take this opening set. With Katrina Adams, a two-time quarterfinalist in the doubles draw here at the U.S. Open. I'm Brian Weber, spotlighting young American talent here Court 5 with Hailey Baptist serving to
15
stay in this opening set.
It's been a tightly contested set thus far. Players really get it into their rhythm. First serve percentage low for Baptiste and Osuigwe. Baptiste needs to get some first serves in here to put some pressure on Gauff and McNally.
Well, that was all set up by the full extension and athletic ability of Caty McNally, reaching out to stab at that volley.
Baptiste needs a first serve. She got it. And Osuigwe got the easy volley.
15.
Good things happen when you get that first serve into the box.
It makes life a little easier, typically in doubles. What I'd like to see, though, from Baptiste and Osuigwe is either an I formation or getting Osuigwe moving, being a little more active at the net. Got away with that one, just kind of put that volley back, but McNally was caught in no man's land.
40-15.
Beautiful return. That's what we used to call when I was playing low go. If I hit the return low, you at the net as my partner look to go. And that's exactly what just happened there. Typically, your opponent has to hit that volley up. The closer you are at the net, the easier it is for you to put away. Woo! Good hands for McNally. I mean, you look at the touch, that lob volley, half volley I think it was, over the head of Osuigwe. We've seen a little bit of everything out here in this first set from all four players.
And it appeared that Hailey Baptiste was going to have a quick service game. Now in the danger zone at deuce. But that is a sparkling reply. Going wide with the slider for the ace.
It's a nice way to get out of trouble.
Backs it up with another impressive serve. Osuigwe puts it away. So after Hailey Baptiste was broken in her last service game, bounces back under duress, will play on. 5-all in this entertaining first set.
So that was a critical hold for Baptiste and Osuigwe, obviously, to stay in the first set. Just to try to get some momentum on their side. A lot of times if you make the move at the net, particularly if it's a planned cross, you can force an error from your opponent, just getting them to take their eye off the ball just enough to miss the return.
Caty McNally hanging tough. She has an all-court game as evidenced by her victory at Roland Garros, winning the French Open Junior doubles championship a few years ago.
hands from Osuigwe. McNally did well to defend those balls deep beyond the baseline.
Interesting to watch Coco in that rally. She was poised to poach a couple times and then thought better of it. These players are out there playing cerebral tennis. Sliding that one in.
Yes, great aggression with the feet from McNally, keeping to rack it up and continuing to move through for that finish. Oftentimes when there's a floater, the player will kind of stop and wait for the ball to come to them and produce an error.
Another tidy service game for Caty McNally. Takes it at 15, and potentially we could be looking at a tiebreaker to decide this opening set. Osuigwe and Baptiste ready to go back to work. Up to Whitney to stay the course, get us to a tiebreaker to wrap up this first set.
Missed opportunity there. Gauff was all over the net. Couldn't put that ball away. A way for Osuigwe to be alert there on the baseline. Osuigwe, I know she's frustrated with that one, and that's one of those shots that she just stopped moving. Ball dropped on her. She wasn't able to adjust. See that little stumble there. Ball was too close to her. Osuigwe and Baptiste, Brian, have only won 38% of their second serve points.
To win a match with that kind of tepid rate.
15-30.
Yes, and although she got her first serve in there, Gauff was really assertive. This is when the team that's leading needs to step up, take some chances, be a little more aggressive, particularly at the net. She needs to make this return. Good hands from McNally. Baptiste unable to put that ball away on the cross.
And these significant break points are set points. Coco Gauff finds
set.
success up the middle.
7 games to 4.
It's a break to cap the opening set. She and Caty McNally rally to win set number 1, 7-5 here on court 5. With the benefit of serving to start the second.
Gauff McNally have to be pleased with the way they rallied back in the first set, down an early break, held their own throughout the remainder of that set. But they would love to really kind of elevate their game here with get a higher percentage of first serves in. Put themselves in position to be more aggressive at the net. A nice move from Baptiste, a great pickup there from Baptiste on that last shot.
Kat, we were talking earlier about all the sacrifices the families of all these players have made. Allowing these teenagers to pursue their tennis ambitions. In the case of Coco Gauff, Father Corey was an outstanding college basketball player. Georgia State mom Candy shined in track at Florida State, and they gave up their full-time careers to help Coco be able to fully immerse herself in following her tennis dream.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge sacrifice for players, and I remember first time really seeing Coco. She won Little Mo at the age of 8. Great stuff from Coco Gauff, moving that volley around the court with ease. And a nice put away. But at the age of 8, you really saw her talent shine in that Little Mo tournament, and then she just continued to progress. But all of these players have made sacrifices. McNally's mom and dad are both tennis coaches, and they've given her the opportunity to pursue her dream, to move forward into the pros, as well as Osuigwe, with her father being a tennis coach. So and Baptiste parents really grinding to find the opportunities for her in her hometown.
Yeah, reading some great coverage documenting how much it meant for Hailey Baptiste to win last year at the City Open. Gave so much credit to her parents, Mom Sherry and Dad Kasim, for all the sacrifices they made to allow her to try tennis at a young age. When she realized this is something she wanted to focus on, they were fully supportive.
Maybe something in Hailey's eye.
Well, it's good to have a teammate. Might have been an earring adjustment.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Maybe she got hooked on her on her shirt the way she was holding her head down. Wasn't able to get a close-up on that. I'd love to see a replay on that, as Coco Gauff got tangled in the racket bag on the side of the court. You can see her kind of losing her balance, adjusting, getting back into the court quickly. Never lost sight on where she needed to be.
And there's the smile. Well, she has so much agility coupled with the presence of mind that she did not allow that to deter her at all.
Oh, and then she misses the easy one. That always happens.
In.
The key is when you make the right move and you miss it, don't be discouraged from doing it again.
Let's
try to figure out what went wrong. Too slow, took my eye off the ball, racket head down, whatever it is, what you did and correct it. Well, the one thing we've seen a little bit different here in the second set from Baptiste, she's serving and volleying. She was serving and staying back more so in the first set. And I actually call that singlebles, when you have two players at the baseline playing singles and two players at the net looking like they're playing doubles.
Nice. Trademark that.
Game. Baptiste.
So a nice hold.
1 game out. Second.
Steady service game produced by Hailey Baptist on serve to start this second set, which Coco Gauff and Caty McNally hope will be the final set.
Beautiful touch from Baptiste. Short
love
backswing, softened her hands, and just lifted that ball over the head of Gauff.
That tells you how good a lob it was to be able to steer it over a pair of players. Well done.
Big forehands from Osuigwe. McNally did a great job of picking that first volley up off of her shoelaces.
From the I formation.
Got away with that second serve.
15,
And Brian, the players typically go into the I formation to take away a particular return from their opponent. Oftentimes when they're in a groove, low, cross court, give them a different look. Another amazing pickup from McNally off of a beautiful return from Osuigwe. Gauff moves forward for the finish. See how low that ball gets down. It's a half volley pickup for McNally. And once Gauff realized that McNally's return was going to be low, she moved forward. Beautiful touch from Baptiste. Well done.
30, 40.
And deservedly, that's rewarded with a break point. Baptiste and Osuigwe trying to improve on that ratio, just 1 to 5 break points converted. That's not going to help.
Yes. Advantage is 3.
Gauff was hesitant on committing to that volley and just stuck her racket out unsuccessfully.
Another look at the break.
Another great half volley pickup from McNally. She's so solid at the net, great hands, keeps that racket firm on those half volleys. A lot of players will become a little too risky in those situations, but not McNally.
Advantage McNally.
It's been a grind here in this game for McNally. She'd love to close this out. changing their signal or confirming it, perhaps. Don't want to get those signals crossed, thinking that your partner is going or staying and you're doing the opposite. Oh, good hands from Baptiste at the net.
Yes.
Coco got there in plenty of time, just perhaps took her eye off of it, framed it a little bit.
Extending this multi-deuce third game.
Advantage McNally. Game.
Caty McNally perseveres, pushing aside the break points
Set and one
for a
set.
well-earned hold on serve. 2-1, second set after McNally and Gauff took the opening set 7-5. Got one wrinkle of having socially distanced double teams. Not the normal conversation we often see when players are sitting side by side. They're communicating enough on the court.
Well, they need a phone to connect.
Maybe text each other.
So they can hear each other.
Yeah.
Now they, you know, the tournament is really taking the distancing seriously. Of course, the players are on the court without the mask, sitting there, even though they're standing next to each other, communicating throughout, and they're all in the bubble, so we all know that they're negative. But it's just taking all the necessary precautions that are needed to make sure that they can get through this event safely.
And a reminder for everyone watching, this is part now of daily life, so it extends inside the bubble as well. Good practices on and off the court to follow. A few too many double
Love
faults
15.
for Whitney in this match.
She has unfortunately been unable to make the adjustment, to make the correction. Baptiste left a little early there, and Gauff was able to pick her off down the line. But I mentioned it in the first set, and it continues in the second. Really, Baptiste and Osuigwe are really struggling on their second serve opportunities. Only 33% here in the second set.
Let's make them.
Let
Chair umpires right. Highest number.
Well, some gremlins in the system.
Vote on 2015. She kicked.
Technical difficulties.
Please stand by. Do not adjust your set. So Damien Dumassois getting on the phone.
Goal.
Certainly worthy of having a few laughs over.
Well, I think it was a grounds PA system that piped into the court. Damien looks a little perplexed.
Okay, the explanation. Sound from Ash coming over here to court 5. We hope. So
Yeah.
a momentary delay.
Yeah, it happened again, so it's a good thing Damien said we should pause. That happens.
Well, I always reboot or unplug because, you know, I'm very technically savvy. So hopefully brighter minds can rectify this momentary glitch. Well, these players are young enough that they're not that far removed from juniors where you call your own lines.
Absolutely.
Go with the old honor system. So big moment here, love 30. Coco puts it away, triple break point.
Love.
You know, I'm so impressed with Coco Gauff at the net. She's not afraid to be aggressive. She keeps her eye on the ball. She wants the ball. And when you're playing doubles, that's the mentality that you need. You need to say, I want the ball, and you keep following it.
Game. Gauff McNally. New balls, please.
A break at love. Potentially a big momentum shift. And now Coco Gauff, Caty McNally up a set, a break. Trying to book a spot in the second round. Well, we know that Coco is already an emerging star in singles, and you get all of the particulars by staying connected on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Join our conversation with the hashtag US Open. But in addition to loving tennis and wanting to win as much as possible, all of these doubles matches are going to serve Coco Gauff very well moving forward in singles because of the skills that players can pick up in dubs. Coco Gauff and Caty McNally asserting themselves, looking to consolidate the break here in the second set after they persevered in the opening set to wrap it up 7-5 in this opening round match. Long run from McNally.
Great shot from Baptiste. She's hit that shot a couple times, a two-hander, just lifting it over the net person's head, being successful with that one. This has been a very entertaining match, if you will, from all four players, using the entire court. Power, touch, angles.
All four are American teenagers, and Coco Gauff, the youngest, at 16 years old. A year ago was effectively the summer of Coco Gauff with her brilliant run at Wimbledon, the youngest player to qualify for the main draw, making it all the way to the round of 16. Some thrilling wins here at the Open, advancing to the third round.
14, that's it.
Bearing down in this service game, looking to validate the break with a hold.
And again, Gauff and McNally showing their hands with their reflex volleys.
Nimble escape to consolidate the break. 4-1 second set.
5.
Final match of the day here on court 5, and potentially getting closer to closing time. Coco Gauff and Caty McNally up a set and a break, trying to book a spot in the second round in women's doubles. And numbers can be massaged, but Kat, you have focused throughout the match on the telling stat in this one. Osuigwe and Baptiste merely winning 37% of their points on their second serve.
Yes, and you cannot win a match with that type of a percentage. You're giving your opponents too many opportunities to get a good turn on those second serves. We'll see one of those attempts here from Gauff. And again, very aggressive. Both McNally and Gauff have not been afraid to move in behind these second serve returns, putting the pressure on Baptiste and Osuigwe.
And that pressure continues to percolate. Above 30.
That ball just got out of the strike zone of McNally. But both McNally and Gauff have done a great job communicating. They're moving well together. They're really trying to be aggressive at the net. We've seen some brilliance from Baptiste and Osuigwe as well, but just not enough here in the second set to be competitive. When you have two players moving forward to the net, that puts the pressure on that player on the baseline and just force Baptiste into looking up and catching the net cord on that shot.
Two more break points present themselves.
$30-40.
Nice.
Gauff McNally.
Caty McNally pouncing on that
McNally,
opportunity,
5 against 1.
picking up
Seconds.
the fourth break for her team. So fittingly, it is the Cincinnati kid, Caty McNally from Ohio, looking to serve this one out and move on to the second round. From the old Aussie I formation, Harry Hotman would be proud.
Nice start with the first serve. Take some pressure off of you, and you can start the game with the point. Great depth from McNally and perfect move from Gauff.
13-11.
As Team McCoco closes in on the win, looking ahead to the second round, they could see the tandem that knocked them out last week in the second round of Cincinnati and New York, the Western and Southern Open, the 3 seeds. Yifan Shu and the American Nicole Malikar.
14 love.
Well, I'm sure they learned a thing or two from that encounter a week ago, and will have a chance to really focus on what they need to do to perform better this week.
Triple match points.
That's truly the Aussie formation there, where Gauff is on the same side of the court as McNally, taking away that cross-court return from Osuigwe.
Double fault, but still
14-15.
plenty of margin for error. Melikar and Shu getting ready to take on the Belgian team of Kirsten Flipkens and Alison van Oudvank tomorrow. So the winner of that match will take on the winner of our match, which could be decided momentarily, but never over until the final moment.
That's right. Nice neck cord there from Baptiste.
So Caty McNally needing all 3 of these match points.
And what a return. That's why Gauff chose to be in the Aussie formation before, because Osuigwe has truly been untying the shoelaces of McNally when she's been coming in behind her serve. And another effective return there.
Of 4th match points.
Let's see if they go into I or Aussie formation on this one to give Osuigwe a different look. Yes, I formation.
And that adjustment part of the winning combination.
So
it was all about the stars and stripes tonight here on Court 5. And the team of Coco Gauff and Caty McNally, based on that efficient line score in the second set. Moving on to the second round, they take it 7-5, 6-1.